Oliver, good to see you again, man. And
You too.
let's let's pick up where we left off. Kind of give a little intro of yourself to everybody, and I'll put this on YouTube too, so whatever you want to say in there for your group and stuff like that too, as well.
Yeah, easy. Nice one. Shit, I feel the pressure now. I didn't realize this was going up on YouTube. But good to be here. So it is actually really good to be here. My name is Oliver. I worked at Google for a few years as an account strategist, where I was basically focused on speaking with some of the fastest growing advertisers across Australia and New Zealand, growing their bottom line, whether they wanted sales or traffic or leads. I was kind of responsible for, helping them to achieve that goal. Google does have, or they did at that time, I think they've slightly changed it now, over only in the last few months or so. They had an agency side of the business, then they had a direct-to-consumer side of the business. In
Yep.
fact, I reckon a lot of people in this call might have already been contacted. So you certainly have, Rob,
Yeah.
by these Google reps getting in touch with you. Gary shaking your head as well. Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's quite a common thing. So depending on how much money the account that they're contacting you about is spending, you'll be contacted by someone in your case, maybe in the US. In my case, it would be Sydney, Australia. And if you're spending below that amount, it would typically be someone in the Philippines or India.
Yeah.
And so there was a bit of, training that I was doing for the team in the Philippines at that time. And speaking of training, another thing that I did during my time at Google was to kind of fly around and deliver these training seminars, grow with Google events, for which I actually wrote the content as well. And then
That's
after I
awesome.
left, I kind of saw that they kept using that content for a long while, which was kind of a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and then for everyone's context, since leaving Google, I sort of initially set out to basically during the middle of COVID make some music, freelance a little bit. I wanted to kind of explore what else there was in the world. I'd been doing it for a few years, and I was looking up the sales floor at Google, and I looked 15 meters down to my left, and I felt that that's where I'd be sitting if I stayed for another 5 years. And that just didn't excite me enough, and that's how these big
Yeah.
companies operate, is that they're so big. Seriously, you will be sitting 15 meters up the corridor if you stay for another 5 years. Like the progression, it's just not as fast or sort of quick as it could be in a small company
Yeah.
that you're in or that you own. And so I
So,
was more excited by going out on my own.
Oliver, let me jump in real quick. And I know I asked you this on our last call only because it's so interesting. And I think everyone here is going to find it interesting too. And on YouTube is it true when you get hired by Google, they ask you those crazy, like how many marbles would fit in this room type shit?
So straight up with me, that didn't happen.
No.
That did not happen. No, but there were a lot of interviews. There
Yeah.
were a lot of interviews. The only question I got asked that was kind of interesting was, why should we not hire you?
That is a tough one if you're on the spot. I
And then
mean,
I was like, oh, um, and they want to see, if you give some lame answer like, oh, well, there's no reason why you should not
yeah.
hire me, then,
Do I
so
stand out?
yeah, exactly. So I kind of said, my answer to that question was, I said, look at my CV. The last thing I did was work in finance in London. And the thing before that was working for a major consulting company in Paris. I clearly don't know really what I'm doing or why I'm doing anything. I'm just chopping and changing between big companies. So like maybe Google will just be another one on the list. And lo and behold, it did end up being
There
that.
you
So
go, man.
I was being very truthful.
They like that, man. Nice resume builder too. Well, where'd you work before this? Oh, Google. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, I just wanted something that would open doors.
Yep.
And the beauty of working at Google was that it turned out that I really did love like the digital marketing side of things. Like I really enjoy that. I was talking to someone last week who was sort of saying like that she was depressed and was over marketing and didn't want to do it anymore, was considering a career change. And I was like, I honestly just don't share that. Like I really like it still after all these years. Like I want to keep doing it
Me
and
too.
keep getting better and building my expertise.
Yeah,
And you
I love
obviously
it.
do, which is why you've built such an amazing
Yeah, thank you.
platform.
I love it, man. And there is days. Fessel's on here. He's one of our guys at our company, who basically runs all of our onboarding. He does way more than I do.
Yeah,
Um,
Oliver.
and there is days where I'm just like flipping tables over, and I'm like I'm over it. And then there's days where like, oh, I love the game, and I love solving the problems and making landing pages and turning things around, and I love getting the testimonial stuff from clients that we don't even ask for most of the time. And they'll just message me, hey, I closed like 7 deals last week from the Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, made a ton of money, and you guys, thank you. Like I love seeing that stuff. Like that's why I do it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's still cool to this day, man. I've been doing this game a long time, probably as long as you, Oliver, like 10 years. So
The longer, I would say. That's
yeah,
longer than me.
it's been fun, but there's days where I'm like, ah, I get
Yeah,
it.
like anything, I suppose.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So kind of lead into how you started your agency, and I think guys Oliver he'll get into it, but he does e-com. I think he's trending away from that and mostly lead gen now, right?
Yeah, so like I said, so when I left Google, I got my hands stuck into a few projects and just started freelancing. In fact, I have never spent uh, $1 of my own ads, or sorry, on ads, um, advertising my consulting services or selling
Mhm.
my freelance services as an agency or anything like that. Um, what I have invested in is selling my online program, which is a course that I built to teach people Google Ads. Is kind of, in fact, some of the people Rob included here might have seen my annoying ads.
I love him.
Um,
So good.
yeah. Well,
Great marketing.
a funny thing about that is, I'll say is that I'm not sure if everyone in this call is in the US. No one's probably crazy enough like me to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning in Sydney.
Most are, and there's a lot of international though that will the replay we'll see in the group.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
I actually only ran those ads in the US and elsewhere. I think the UK and South Africa. Like essentially, I ran them everywhere except my own market, except Australia. I've never spent $1 of ads in my own country where I live. And to be honest with you, and transparent to the group, a large part of the reason for that was just to avoid having any kind of interesting accusations or any kind of bullshit that might have come from selling the Google Ads course, having left Google and working
yeah,
in the Sydney office. I just didn't want to kind of be
makes sense.
associated with that.
Yeah,
Um, which ended up being really funny though, because it's what I love about Americans is they're so commercial and entrepreneurial. Suddenly, people were seeing these ads and then inviting me to speak in like Boise, Idaho at conferences in San Diego, and so
love it.
like yeah, and I don't think the response would be the same in any other market.
Yeah,
But so I started freelancing. I posted on LinkedIn where I said, I've chosen to leave my job at Google, open to any kind of work if anyone has any questions or needs help with Google Ads. And it was like I immediately got like 3 clients just from that LinkedIn post from people
amazing.
that I basically worked with, and then just slowly built up over time and purely through word of mouth referrals, I'd built up to the point where I think it was like 6 months ago, I had like 21 clients and I was basically servicing them myself. And we say agency, like I'm not really running an agency, right? Like in the capacity that I've been doing it so far, it's just been entirely me. And I think that's why I was able to build such a large amount of clients is because I was
Yeah,
doing all the work myself. I'd outsourced little bits of admin and things like that.
yeah,
And then, as Rob mentioned, I was doing e-commerce, I was doing book publishing, I was doing lead gen, I was basically just doing everything. And then it extended from Google into Facebook and from Facebook into LinkedIn advertising and kind of just like I've ended up in this position where I'm kind of like a digital marketing specialist that happens to also be an expert at Google Ads and has worked at Google Ads. Like I've
yeah.
now gone a little bit deeper along the journey. Um, and yeah,
Those
I'm trying to
happen,
do it.
those expand naturally too, though, right? Like when we started out, we were just exclusively Google Ads. That was our thing, right? It was like we only do Google Ads, right? You don't want to go to someone who does everything, blah blah blah. And then over time, we're like, well, we're leaving a lot of money on the table because we get asked every day for Facebook ads or every day for can we throw up a website for me? Or so we eventually moved towards that, kind of like you just said, like you did too, where you're like, well, they're asking for it, they want to pay for it. And you just build up
Totally.
your skill set, man, and you can sell this stuff and make money, and they make good leads, and everyone's happy, you know. So
Exactly. And as an anecdote, like one of the things at Google that I remember specifically was our job was to sell Google Ads, But this
yeah,
business, like sometimes the business might not need just Google Ads. They might need a bit of Facebook. They might need email. They might need many things.
yep,
And I remember feeling a certain conflict of having to push this one product when I could see that to grow the business, maybe only 30% of their marketing budget should have been Google. But I had to kind of say that it was 60 or 70% of the budget.
yeah, definitely.
And so like in being able to just liberate myself of that and really focus on growing the business, which is what I like to do. It's like, I better learn Facebook. I better learn all this other stuff and just have it in my arsenal and deploy money wherever it needs to go.
Yep.
And so it's almost out of necessity that you have to learn these things to achieve the end outcome.
And it's good for the client too, right? Because they want, if there's one thing that over the, my career so far, that is like my number one thing now is, they don't really know what they need. because they're not marketers. They're, small business who's really good at what they do, and they they need someone who just kind of can look at it and be like, all right, you should do, like you said, Oliver, a little bit here. You should do some Google Ads budget here. We should do some Facebook here. Then we should have a retargeting campaign. And here's why. Because people who didn't convert, we want to stay in front of them for, 500 days or whatever it is. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the natural evolution of a freelancer to an agency, like that, those
Yeah.
steps, and expanding your skills, hiring team and support. Like support was always my biggest, like, oh God, please, I can't deal with it. I can't even look at it.
What, customer support
Oh
or?
yeah, I can't do it. They don't even let me in my company talk to anybody. That's offensive. They don't let me talk to anybody. They keep me
Pestle,
in
is
that
that
dark
correct?
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just keep him on the school community.
That's it. Yeah, I'm a maniac. I do it for fun.
Yeah.
But
That's
But it
true.
is fun. I mean, that's what I like about it as well. And
yeah.
Faisal, your question, in the chat you've written, how's your onboarding and optimization process? Like,
Mm,
I can't stress enough, like, until now, what I've been doing is everything myself because maybe I'm a control freak and I haven't had the systems in place to actually build an agency with a team. And that's frankly never been my goal. Like, that has not been my goal to date, to actually build an agency, get a premises, build that sort of business. Like, I've been just like loving this status as like a gun freelancer. So what's my
yeah.
onboarding process is typically I'll get a whole bunch of emails kind of asking me if I'd like to get involved or if I want to like jump on a call. Initially, I jumped on every single call and then I kind of started screening those emails a little bit, just asking some clarifying questions. Tell me, what's your revenue? What are you after? How can I help? So I could understand if it was, like if it was
A
going to be
fit.
potentially, yeah, a
Yeah.
fit. Um, and then it would be, I'm really big on like not over promising and never over promising and trying to really just do excellent work. So looking at my schedule and sometimes like I had a guy who I started working with on the 1st of July who we jumped on a call and I sent him an email. I said, look, I can work with you, but I won't be available for 2 months. I can start on the 1st of July. And I also said, here's my price, which was a very high price, higher than I'd usually charge because for that particular project and the amount I had on at the time, like I was like, I always ask myself, like, what would I actually need to do this project and to do it well? Like, what would it make
Yeah.
me want to do it? Well,
Yep.
it'd probably have to be this amount of money, and I'd need at least 2 months to ramp up so I could finish these other projects. So I just always go for exactly what my best case scenario would be, and try to get really clear on that in my head. And he was like, he just basically was like, sign me up. And so he waited 2 months, uh, fired his old agency, waited 2 months, and then we onboarded and hit the ground running because I was actually ready to go. I'd come back from my vacation. Like, my onboarding process is pretty fluid, but I just
Yeah.
try to make
And you
sure I'm
worked in
never
some
overstressing.
scarcity there. Some scarcity in there too, which makes them,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's like one of the best
Well,
tactics there is. And even though you weren't even intentionally doing it, you're like, listen,
exactly.
I'm going on vacation, man. If you want to work with me when I come back, I'm ready. Like, let's do this. Like, I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly. And to be honest, like it was a question of take it or leave it, and they're the best kind of situations as well because
Yeah.
I was totally willing for him to say, "It's just too much. I need it now,"
Yeah.
and I would have been like, "Well, fine."
Yeah.
But like, I love that. Just not, I don't know, not having a mindset of needing to take every single opportunity and dollar that comes my way because if I do a great job, like they'll always
Yeah.
come.
Yep. I agree
Um,
100%. And you get bogged down then with lower quality clientele, and then that's problematic over time.
which speaking transparently with the group is an enormous problem that I faced over the last 6 months of
Yeah.
having completely overstretched myself, which is why I said to this guy, I'm going to need 2 months before I can
Yeah.
work with you.
Yep.
And I actually, as a little anecdote, I fired 6 months ago. I was looking at premises. I think I mentioned this to you, Rob. I was
Yep.
looking at premises to rent out a location to then hire a team to handle the amount of clients that I had.
Hmm.
Like some were ecom, some were book publishing, some were dentists, some were like it was a bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
And like I just over the years amassed this portfolio. Some were good, many were not. Like many were small, tricky clients to work with.
Hmm.
Um, and I was looking for a space because I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I need to hire people. I need a location. And as I was viewing these premises, man, I started thinking like, this is not like I'm not consciously building here. Like I'm just getting a location because I have no choice because I have too
Yeah.
many clients. Like, so I was kind of faced with this choice of like get the location, expand as an agency, and turn yourself into basically from a gun consultant into an agency, or like fire a bunch of clients. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. I literally fired like 2/3 of my clients, which was only 50%. Like, it was some sort of ratio that I did. I think it was, no, I fired 50% of my clients, which was like 20% of my revenue or something.
Yeah.
And immediately felt this weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And there's such a scary decision to make, though. It's the same as quitting your job at Google. That scared the shit out of me. But I was writing down, I'm very detailed about thinking, is this the right decision? What do I actually want from this? And firing clients was just a similar one because I think we're bred with this mindset of needing to like take
It's
as much money as we can and make
it's
as
like
much money.
taking the leap, right? And I told you that in the email I sent back. I was like short-term pain, right? But in the long
Yeah,
term, you're going to be able to cherry pick now the higher tier clients that you want to work with that are good clients. They're not going to email you about a 1% drop in CTR on a random Wednesday.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're going to be actual businesses who just want to run their business and just want this to run in the background, not be bothered with it. We got a
Totally.
question in here though. Let's see what that is. What would you recommend as someone with an agency that has clients but is still learning how to optimize Google Ads? Should I outsource, hire internally for the time being? I want to make sure my clients are getting the best results. But most people we talk to so far want $500 per client to help, which is tough for my MMR currently.
Just to clarify, when you say $500 per client,
That I think he's
just,
talking about white labeling. Like if he wants a white label,
oh yeah.
it's $500 a month per client, and that he's, I guess, what he sold the deals at, that doesn't make sense for him to white label it. So he's
Yeah, yeah.
trying to see what the
So,
best option to optimize the Google Ads are for himself. I would assume it. My personal opinion, it would. Daniel, is it? Yeah, Daniel. It would probably be to learn it yourself or teach your team. But Oliver, you could take that one.
no, I'd agree. I mean, I think if for example, $500 per client is tough given what they're paying you. Are they paying you to do a bit of Facebook and Google and other things? Is it a bit of a package deal?
You can talk,
Um,
Daniel.
yeah, sorry, first time here. I didn't know. Yeah, so yeah, I have 7 clients now, and for each client, I just do one. So just Google or Meta, but I do have one that I'll do both for.
Okay. But so some of them are just Google. Some of them are just Google clients.
Correct.
And
Yes,
you're
sir.
ramping up, you're learning. Um, See, the beauty of working at Google is that you get to do exactly what you're doing now, which is learning on the job, except
Thank you
it
so
doesn't
much.
matter at all because it's someone else's money basically, and I'm not the client. I'm just the middleman, sort of learning about what's going on. So the danger of managing those clients is you are learning on the job, which is great, but like you kind of if you do a bad job, you risk to lose the client, right? It's kind of obvious. Um, but I agree with Rob big time. Like I think you can probably lean in and upskill and just have confidence in knowing that it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. And like, particularly, for example, where your monthly revenue is at the moment, um, are they big clients? Like, what are they spending on Google Ads?
Um, I mean, my biggest spend's 4,000 a month, and the lowest is spending 1,500. So
Yeah,
That's pretty much
yeah,
the average for local businesses, 1,500 for
yeah,
a lot of our guys are like that too.
okay,
yeah, absolutely. And I reckon you can learn on that, Daniel. I reckon you can do that.
yeah,
Definitely.
And I think it's probably like you want to outsource it, but think about the growth of like of you and your business and how important it's going to be for you to actually know that at some point, whether it's now or in 6 months. I would say absolutely you can lean in and do that.
I
That
agree
would
with
be my
Oliver,
recommendation.
100%. And also, man, first off, congratulations, because most people die before they get 5 clients, and I mean their agency.
yeah.
So you are doing well, man. Like that's a big
Thank you.
accomplishment. Seriously, just now you're learning the ropes as you scale. Then you're gonna hit 10, then you're gonna hit 20, and it's gonna keep going, man. That's just how it works. It's a natural evolution. But like Oliver said, like this is an axe you want to sharpen because you got to know this stuff. At some point, it's better. If I could go back in time, I would have. Well, I did it this way anyway, but you want to do this stuff yourself, and then you can
Hmm.
build out your own internal teams based on your knowledge and your own SOPs. My biggest advice for you, if you're going to do it yourself as well, is to write down everything that you do on an account and then build an SOP. And nowadays, it's even easier because you can write down your SOPs or put them in a Google Doc or whatever, and throw them in ChatGPT and say SOP this for my next team member,
Right.
and it will give them the play-by-play what to do. And also, you have Google Ad School to learn from, ask questions, or it always gets answered. And Oliver, what's your school name so people can join there too for training?
Yeah, so mine's called Google Ads Masters.
There you go. Better name than mine. I like it.
Yeah, I think what also happened, sorry, just last thing. So
Oh, good, man.
I closed 2 new clients last week, so there's like an overwhelmed piece of it. So I like have to create their campaigns as well. And whereas some of the clients have come into their campaigns and I've been like editing it.
Yeah.
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 So a piece for that, Oliver, actually, let me just do this and then I'll have Oliver jump in too. So I actually just released in Google Ads School a new format where I walk through. I don't know if you saw it yet. It's in the Google Ads course. I just updated it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where I build a campaign step by step from scratch. It's 10-part videos series. Just watch that, dude. You'll be able to build a campaign right after you watch it. It's that easy.
Thank you. Yeah, I just got here. Thank you though.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Oliver, sorry, go ahead, man. Jump in.
No, I agree. I love it. It's actually it's really cool to see, Daniel. Like I have actually been so in my own little world, and you forget that it's almost making me go like, oh, I did actually learn this whole like program, and now I know it. Like you almost forget that that's what you've learned, you know. So it's refreshing to see. But I think you can absolutely do it, man. Just gradually onboard new clients and learn on the job and watch videos and join calls like this and watch all of Rob's tutorials and the other content in his awesome community. Like I think the ramp up period should feel a little bit stressful. It's like
I
you're
agree.
learning new things. It's going to feel a bit dangerous, but that's also why 90% of people never bother going through it, you know?
Exactly. When you're feeling uncomfortability, man, that's when you should think in your head, this is where most people give up. If you just push through it, then you're gonna get to that next level. And it's a good situation that you're in. Get uncomfortable, man. This is the game. Trust me, like you're just getting
Yeah.
started. This is the game, but it will be worth it.
Yep. I've
And
just
I
been
would
cold
say
calling.
That's it.
exactly, you got any unhappy clients, you pull that puppy out, they won't be unhappy anymore.
Man, he's biting everything right now. This little sucker.
Oh, he's a cute dog though. What's his name?
Booker.
Booker.
Like,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for the advice though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oliver, so tell us about your school. Like, what do you have in there and like your courses and stuff? Like, what kind of community is it?
Sure. So again, like when I think for me, you know, a big part of my role at Google was the teaching. So I was like flying around doing physical in-person teachings. And even before that, like I'm a trumpet player. You know, I was teaching trumpet before like during university to make money. I just like teaching, and I've always enjoyed presenting, and I love stuff like this and formats like this. So I was literally in this room here, which is my study, which is my office, and I just for fun started making my course. It was like learn Google Ads from the same guy who taught Google Ads at Google. Like it was just like this perfect sort of sales.
Such a good hook. Such a
It's,
good
it's
hook.
just it's just an unrepeatable hook that's just so good. And
Can't
I'll
beat
be
it.
flogging that till the day I die. I'll be
You
saying
better,
that,
man,
you
or
know?
I'm gonna steal it from you.
Exactly, exactly.
I'll hire someone who worked at Google just so I can say it.
But so like I just made this program for fun, teaching people Google Ads. And in fact, I'd seen a year or two before that someone do it. It was an ex-Facebook employee make a Facebook course, which doesn't exist anymore. I've been trying to find it, which I bought and which I thought, God, I could really do this. I could probably do it better. I could do a Google version. And I did. And like, I still remember, you know, when you do something for fun, it usually turns out pretty well because you kind of, I didn't, you know, I started running ads. I think I spent $3,000 on ads before I had a single sale
Yeah.
of like a $99 course. And I remember when the guy bought it, I was just like, I was on holiday at the time. I emailed him personally. I was like, hey man, you're the first person to buy this course. I'd love to jump on a call with you and just like, I'd literally help you build your account or whatever you need. Like I'll jump on a call with you.
Awesome.
And let's lock it in because I'm just so happy to sort of, you know, get this engagement. And he was like, yeah, let's lock it in. And he just sort of never bothered to like book it in. And I was like, that's when I learned about online programs and how people don't, you know, like then I introduced, so people would buy the course and then there was an optional upsell of they can book for half price a 1 hour session with me where we do everything together. Typically I get access to their accounts when we do this and I actually just share my screen with them as I make all the changes so they can learn, but it's faster because I'm doing it.
Yeah, you got to
And they
drive.
record it, you know, it's all recorded. And like 15% of people who bought the course would book in a session with me. And a bunch of the people who paid for those sessions never even redeemed them and never even like came to book them in. And I started to think like, wow, like people just buy stuff
Oh
without
yeah,
actually following through.
especially Americans.
Is that right? But I tell you what, it's a very interesting thing because I've probably on my balance sheet right now got a lot of people who could at one day, redeem that 1 hour session.
Yeah, right.
As I just sort of fade into the bushes like Homer Simpson. But but like the course I built, it was designed to just be an A to Z, everything about Google Ads. So search, shopping, display, YouTube, kind of like everything you need to run Google Ads. And it's an interesting one because Google proceeded to change their interface like 6 times after I'd made all these sort of tutorials guiding people through it. So kept getting questions about where I should click. And I've had to, as you would have found as well, Rob, like you got to kind of consistently update this. And at one point I was like, ooh, wow, I've really built, like, did I mean to get invested in a long-term project here? Because you kind of got to keep going back. But I've started to enjoy the community aspect of it, which is like the calls with people I've really enjoyed. And I was originally on Teachable with this course.
Yeah.
Eventually moved it to School because Teachable was hopeless.
Yeah, I agree.
So now I offer every 2 weeks. I'm sitting here in this room with a coffee in my hand, and we do basically those one-on-one sessions, but completely free for whoever joins. And usually we share screens and make changes, and kind of like what we're doing here, guys. And they have the full course again running through everything on Google Ads. I've even updated it with demand gen modules and PMAX modules, and I also added in for free to the community a conversion tracking blueprint course. So it's like deep dive into Google Tag Manager and how mainly for service businesses getting leads, like how you can actually use Tag Manager and trying to like demystify it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like it's pretty much just me shooting the shit and trying to like have a laugh with people on the internet, so I don't so I'm not just a lonely freelancer in my bedroom,
Sounds like exactly like our calls. Exactly what we do.
Yeah.
So like sometimes, there's a lot of weeks where I'm not interviewing anybody and we're just like on here just like, hey, how's everybody's Friday? It's just like we're just hanging out for 45 minutes and then we'll get into different topics and stuff. But yeah, it's always fun. And like I said, like I love doing it. It's just like you do, I like helping, the aspect of helping too with somebody who and a lot of the consults that I do, and I'm sure you probably see this as well, is like, and I'd say a bulk of this is the issue in consults I do is people don't even have conversion tracking set up correctly. So they don't really know why their campaigns are not working because they have no data. There's nothing there. Or, you get down to that problem where it's like, all right, do you have a Google Ads problem or do you have a landing page problem? Like that is another one where people just don't understand. Sometimes there's only so much you can do with Google, right, Oliver? I mean, if the search traffic is exactly what you want, and you're still not getting leads, then you got to move on. Like you're kind of hitting the ceiling there with Google. You got to move on to, all right, what do we do with this landing page? Why does this thing suck? How do we fix it? Right?
Yeah.
So
so you go.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I absolutely agree. Like, for example, the guy that I started with on the 1st of July that I mentioned, we had an amazing month just with Google Ads, but like the cost per is a health clinic, right? The cost to get a booking is just prohibitively expensive. It's extremely competitive. Like, and 100% of his ads budget was on Google. And it's again, like, there's no silver bullet here. I was kind of, the campaigns were dialed in, like the tightest they could possibly be. Yeah. I knew exactly what the cost per click was and what it should be. And I knew exactly what we were paying for. I was using Keywordme,
there you go,
the extension to optimize that shit. And like, nice. I was like, this is dialed in, but his cost per acquisition is very high. Like it's just not going to add up. So we added in Facebook into the mix. We started running lead gen ads, and we sort of crafted an offer to sell, basically like an 80% off first consultation, kind of if you book today, by the end of the month, only for the first 25. We crafted an offer, ran lead gen ads. We started getting leads for like $20 each rather than 130, or bookings, I should say, not leads. And so now our strategy is shifting where Google might end up being like 30 or 40% of the budget, not 100. And we're going to go heavy on this lead gen strategy.
Absolutely. And you got to shift sometimes, man. And also just to touch on the industry you're in, like the wellness stuff, it's such a pain in the ass sometimes with the regulations, and you'll get your ads flagged or they'll run limited, and this applies to Google and Facebook, right? 'Cause if you mention the word Botox or something like that, if it's one of those clinics, or, you you got to go through all this approval processes and get all this
Yeah,
crazy stuff, which
totally.
is, a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got your client being like, "Why aren't my ads running? What's limited mean? What's going on?"
Yeah. That's why you don't get to speak to them.
All right, we got one more question down here. It says, "How much work or time is taken to learn Google Ads to a good level for lead gen?" I mean, that's an open-ended question. I assume hard to put a figure on it, but any guidance, as I feel like I haven't learned a good amount so far and wonder how much more I should continue.
Nice. So I mentioned, this is just a little anecdote before I answer this good question. I mentioned that the Google Ads program that I built was like catering to anyone and anyone who wanted to learn any aspect of Google Ads. It was like, you know, search, shopping, everything. If you're a freelancer, if you're an agency, if you're a business.
Yeah.
And I started to think like the problem is there's kind of like I'm speaking to everyone with this program. So I really now have built, or I'm in the final stages of building out something that I'm calling kind of like the Lead Gen Academy. Not kind of like the Lead Gen Academy is what it's called, specifically for lead generation.
Yep.
And the reason is then I know exactly who I'm catering it for. There's not that sort of like shotgun approach.
Yep.
And I can be very specific with who I'm going after. Now that in my mind, it's like, well, the only question I need to answer still before I launch it is, am I going after exclusively small business lead generating like business owners themselves? Or am I going after freelancers and agencies who are trying to generate leads for their clients?
Yeah.
Or a bit of both. So that's the only thing I need to actually work out, speaking honestly.
I would think that you would go after both. It should be anyone who wants to learn lead gen, right? That would be your target.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Anyone who
Yeah.
wants to learn lead gen can benefit from that. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. There are sort of argument push and pulls for either side.
Yep.
But to answer Uzay's question, like he's asking how much work or time is taken to learn Google Ads to a good level for lead gen. I mean, I think if lead gen is the goal, and this is where my program is going, is that you need a bit of Google Ads, but you also do need to start considering about other channels, and you need to factor in landing pages and optimization there into things as well as maybe sort of detailed tracking systems, which we go into of like daily reporting. How much do we spend per day? How many leads do we get per day? How many leads do we close per day? Like knowing at any moment sort of how we're tracking or how we tracked yesterday so we can make changes in the account today, not just in the Google Ads account, but overall as a business and like optimizing for business growth. So that's what that whole program's about. I think that it's a tricky question to answer. How much time is taken to learn Google Ads to a good level for lead gen?
It's almost impossible to answer, right?
Yeah, I'll say a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Like if you can run search ads, forget lead gen. If you can run search ads really well, you can sell ice to Eskimos. You know exactly what you're paying for because you've combed the search terms report. You've used Rob's extension Keywordme, and you've optimized the hell out of it. And you kind of like you can do e-commerce with that. You can do lead gen with that. You can just do traffic campaigns with that.
Yeah, you can do a lot.
You can really do a lot.
He wants a link to your school. Do you want to drop a link in there, or just say the name of it and you could search it in school? Either one is fine.
Yeah,
Google Ads Masters, right?
It is Google Ads Masters. I think he's might be asking about the Lead Gen Academy, which I haven't launched yet. I've got the school, I've got the school and everything, but I haven't actually like published it live.
Yeah.
I'll just put the link to. Do you want me to put the link to the school here, Rob?
Yeah. Drop it in there, definitely. And also, if someone joins your school, they'll obviously be notified when you launch Lead Gen Academy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you guys might all see me in some more annoying ads as I float around
They're the
the
best
US
ads.
market for the Lead Gen Academy.
I'll toss you a like in a comment every time I see one. So
People
we got
used to comment on that shit, calling me a ginger and stuff.
that's savage.
I
Dude,
just
are
want
you
to say
too-
thanks for sending that. Am I allowed to unmute myself?
You're good. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I just want to say thanks for sending that. That sounds really good. Because you're absolutely right. Like when it's specifically for lead gen, it's the same thing, but it's also a little bit different, like even more niche. So yeah, I will definitely keep an eye out for that. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. So listen,
Nice, man.
guys, we
Thanks.
got like 4 minutes left. It's 1:30 in the morning plus where Oliver is. So we're gonna let him jet. But Oliver, once again, where can people find your stuff? How can they reach out to you if they want to work with you or anything like that?
So I have a school community, which is Google Ads Masters, which I've just linked in the group here. And maybe we'll put in a link depending on
I'll
where
put it
this
in the
video ends
replay
up.
in the YouTube
Yeah.
video.
And then my website is Pestalozzi. Oh, my surname's Pestalozzi. My website's pestalozzidigital.com. And I sort of respond to everyone and anyone that emails me via that website. And seriously, every single email I respond to. And I just try to keep it real with everything I do. I try, if I can help you, I'll help you. If I can't, I can't. And I'll be very honest about that. And yeah, hope that we cross
Awesome.
paths.
Love it. All right, Oliver, thank you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I know you stayed up late to do this. Get out of here. Go get some sleep. Have a good weekend. Everybody, I'll see you in school. I'll repost this replay. I'm throwing it on YouTube today. Oliver, I'll tag you in it, and then I'll put the replay up with your link.
That's all.
All right.
You. Bye bye.
All right.
Thanks so
Later,
much,
guys.
guys. Great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Bye. See ya.